because we didn't sign waivers.
Imagine that one of your loved ones suffers from the disease of drug addiction. Whether it's your son, your daughter, your mother, your father, or just a sibling, the effects permeate your life. Drug addiction not only affects the user, but the user's friends and families as well. I'm Amanda Kidd, and I had a substance abuse problem for over 9 years. The need for substance abuse counselors is an important subject to me because I know exactly what it means to be a prisoner to chemical dependency, and I have experienced firsthand the destruction that substance abuse caused to my own life and all of those around me. My speech will use information from the National Institute on Drug Abuse, the Community Anti-Drug Coalition of America, and a scholarly article from the American Journal of Family Therapy. Substance abuse counselors are vital to the recovery of suffering addicts, and their own work is out of love for God and love for all of human life as according to God's will. I'm going to focus on the disease of substance abuse and the outstanding need for substance abuse counselors. I will explain how substance abuse counselors promote 3 things that God values: His rightful authority over all things, including our bodies, and God's value of human life and of self-control. Substance abuse counselors work to save lives from the chains of drug addiction, which destroys the body and the mind, which are His perfect creation of humanity. I will describe how substance abuse counselors demonstrate an overwhelming love for God with the support they lend to all of His people. My first main point is that substance abuse is a dangerous disease, and counselors that specialize in addiction treatment are essential to the recovery of drug addicts. The National Institute on Drug Abuse defines addiction as a complex illness characterized by intense and at times uncontrollable drug cravings, along with compulsive drug seeking and use that persists even in the face of devastating consequences. Professionals such as marriage and family counselors are not as well suited as substance abuse counselors to treat chemical dependency, according to an article in the American Journal of Family Therapy. 23.2 million people have a substance abuse problem, yet only 2.4 million people receive treatment each year, according to the National Institute on Drug Abuse. My second main point is that according to Scripture, God values His rightful authority over all things, including our bodies. God values human life. Substance abuse counselors work to save lives from the cycle of drug addiction, which destroys the body and the mind. Substance abuse claims the lives of many. Substance abuse-related deaths are among the top 10 causes of disease-related deaths globally, according to the Community Anti-Drug Coalition of America. God values all life, even those that are lost in their addiction and those that reject Him. Jesus said, "For the Son of Man has come to seek and to save that which is lost." That was Luke chapter 19, verse 9, King James Version. As a substance abuse counselor, I will give spiritual guidance as well as share my own personal experience to help suffering addicts reclaim their lives and repair their relationship with God. My third main point is that God values self-control. Substance abuse counselors help addicts reclaim their self-control and find hope from a life that seems hopeless. Proverbs chapter 25, verse 28 says, "He that hath no rule over his spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls." Drug use affects the brain's reward and motivation, learning and memory, and inhibitory control over behavior, according to the National Institute on Drug Abuse. Long-term care is needed to treat drug addiction's compulsive behavior and break the horrendous cycle of substance abuse. According to the National Institute on Drug Abuse, an active user has a brain disease that inhibits self-control. We have learned how serious of a disease substance abuse is and the important role that substance abuse counselors play in the recovery of addicts. We learned that the support that substance abuse counselors give addicts and their families promotes 3 things that God values. That's His rightful authority over all things, including our bodies, God's value of self-control, and God's value of human life. In closing, I'd like to remind my audience, drug addiction affects millions. As I said in the beginning of the speech, it not only affects the user, it affects the user's family and friends as well. Substance abuse counselors are very much needed in today's society. Substance abuse counselors not only promote recovery and abstinence, they give the suffering addict hope and help them reclaim their lives. Substance abuse counselors give the addict an opportunity to live as God would have them to live, and that is a life of self-control and a life where God has the ultimate authority.